2011 when I was in India introducing my guru to various groups that he was speaking and lecturing with in Pune and Mumbai. I had a major heart attack and I ended up being sent back to America. And on the way back, I stopped at customs at the Denver airport and I collapsed in a line and I spent 6 hours with paramedics and I got a release since I only had about 2 hour flight home and I told them I was going to the doctor to have a heart surgery. So they released me after stabilizing me for 6 hours. Got on the airplane, got home, went to the doctors. As soon as the doctors saw me, they put me in the ER. They put me in intensive care ICU and told me that I was set up for surgery, but I was too weak. I needed at least 4 days in ICU to have my body prepared and rested and stable enough to operate on. Apparently, I had a pretty major heart attack and I had some super blockages. They were going to do open heart surgery. What they were going to do was to cut my chest open, spread it, the rib cage, go in and actually ice it down or do something with cold water, ice something. But somehow they were going to actually stop my heart. And while it stopped, the artery would be hooked up to a blood lung machine. In other words, oxygen would be pumped in instead of me having to breathe. And it would be pumped by this machine, so my heart would be not working, and my lungs would, I guess my lungs wouldn't be working either. So I don't fully understand the process. All I know is I was going to be unconscious for 6 to 8 hours, and they were going to take blood vessels from my legs and arms and then attach those as bypasses, thus the term bypass surgery. And it was going to go around my blockages. When I went in there, I asked the doctor, I says, well, am I going to feel anything? And he says, well, 95% of the people go through this surgery, they don't feel anything, but there's about 5% of the people that are kind of aware and feel movement and tugging and things. He says, but it shouldn't be a big concern. He says, it's only a small percentage of people. And he put me under. I can't remember exactly how it happened, if I had a shot, what. All I know is, boom, I'm unconscious. And as soon as I was unconscious, I emerge. It's like, boom, there's this big burst of light. And then I emerge from it, and I see I'm actually physically standing outside of a temple in southern India. A temple that I was told about in my naughty palm reading, that I was supposed to go visit this place. And what was interesting, because I'm standing there looking at this temple and recognizing this is the place. How I knew it was a place, I don't know. Intuitively, I recognized it as the place. I was told in this reading that when I went to this temple, I was supposed to walk uphill 2 hours or 4 hours or some period of time up this hill until I'd meet the rishis, these holy men. So that's exactly what I did. So here I am, what feels like flesh and blood, feels like I'm actually standing and walking in India while this operation is going on, while my body is unconscious and my heart is not pumping and my lungs not breathing and I'm on a heart-lung machine being kept alive and they're cutting me up. I am somehow transported to India. Now, was this a delusional state from the anesthesia? Was I actually, since my heart and lungs weren't working, was I dead, not dead? Where was I in this never, never land? I didn't question any of it. But I knew I was firmly walking on ground and I was going uphill. And so I did. And I walked up this hill. And I got to the top. And there was this group of enlightened holy men. And they're sitting on rocks and tree stumps and on the ground and around a little campfire. And I approached them. I didn't need any introductions. I knew who they were. Even as I tell this story and after I wake up, I have no clue who they are. But at the time, I knew who they were, and they knew me. And when I sat down with them, the one touched my forehead, and he says, from this point forward, you won't have to be told things, you will know things. You will be able to answer your own questions. So I said, I just accepted that. That was just like, okay. And there was no real conversation. It was almost telepathic. It was like I'm picking up all these things, but it was like I wasn't learning anything new. It was like I was remembering, I was awakening. So in this non-awake state on the operating table, I'm in a very awakened state in India. And as I'm sitting on this rock talking to them, I look up and there's my guru. And he's looking at me very somber, and he's got his arms folded on his chest, and he's going, Bill, whatever you do, don't give up heart. Don't give up heart. I go, what? What is this? Don't give up heart. And then this brilliant light, blinding light, and there's this feminine energy and feminine voice coming forth from the light. And I have to say she, because I just visualize it was a feminine energy, it was a she energy. It was almost like the angel of death. And she says, Bill, all you got to do is let go. You'll be gone. You don't need any more pain. You don't need any more suffering. You've done what you're supposed to do. Your time is up. You can go. You can go now. All you have to do is just give it up. And she promises me peace and bliss and love and rainbows and colors and hugs. I mean, everything you could, all this beautiful stuff is waiting for me. Just all I got to do is give up on this physical life. And as I'm thinking how wonderful that is and how beautiful that is and ready to follow her, my guru stands next to me and says, Bill, don't give up heart. It's your duty. It's your duty. It's your dharma to have more pain. You volunteered for this. You need more pain. You need more suffering. And he explains to me that during my life, every time I had major pain and disease and injuries and stuff like that, that I was always divinely helped, where I didn't really have to experience the pain at any great level at all. And he says, no more. He says, having pain like regular people would help inspire people, because I'd have to learn how to handle that pain. And in the process, I'd be able to help others with their pain. And then he just kind of did this, and all around him in this light is faces. Faces of people all over the world. Wales, England, Florida, New York, California, all kinds of places. And he told me that these are the faces of people that are waiting for me to assist them, to give them inspiration, to help them connect their own dots. And I looked around at these faces, and I'm going, and he goes, and if you give up your heart, these people will not get your assistance. And then that beautiful, pulsating angel of death, she goes, Bill, you've already done enough. You don't owe anybody anything. I promise you no pain, no more suffering, bliss. Come with me. And this vision went on for the duration of the surgery. And while I'm listening to all this, I could actually feel like hands and instruments and things going on inside my chest, like poking and things and pulling. And then all of a sudden there was this, and the light disappears, and I'm in this light, but I'm laying on my operating table, and my body kind of jumps up like some kind of electric voltage in my heart, or my heart started or something. And next thing you know, I'm breathing, and I come out of it. When I come out of it and I wake up, it's a period of time afterwards. I don't know if it was an hour or two. They take in the tube out of my throat. I still got tubes everywhere else, blood. And I just kept remembering that angel of death, how beautiful it was, and her promise of no more pain, no more suffering. And but then I thought about the faces of people, especially those in the UK and in Ireland. These people were waiting for me for some reason. And I laid there, and every time I closed my eyes over the next 10 days, every time I closed my eyes and drifted off, I'd have the same experience over and over and over again. I'd be back physically in India. I'd be back at this temple. I'd be back walking uphill. I'd be back with these rishis. I'd be back with the guru. And this went on and on and on and on. Till finally, after about 5 blood transfusions and all kinds of other stuff, and they're getting ready to take me down about 10:30 at night or 11 o'clock at night from my hospital room to go down and get an MRI because my chest cavity and the lungs are filling up with fluids. Congestive heart failure, I'm having some issues with fluids, and they wanted to find out to what extent. And so they're getting ready to put me on a gurney and roll me out, and my telephone in my hospital bedroom rings. And I reach over and I grab it and I go, hello. And he goes, this is your guru in India. I go, okay. And he goes, Bill, do not give up heart. You can skip a few beats, but do not give up heart. And wow, the words just impacted me because that was the same words I was hearing for 10 days. Every time I went to sleep during the operation, anytime I drifted in and out, I was hearing this voice of my guru saying, don't give up heart. And here he was on the phone, calling me all the way from India to tell me not to give up heart. And then he goes, I've just asked all these people here, there's over 100 people here, he told me. I've told them that I'm going to heal you. I want them to go pray and meditate for you, and I'm sending you healing energy. So I'm going, I told my wife, I hang up the phone, I go, I can't die. I'd embarrass my guru. He just told everybody he's going to heal me. And if I die, it would be a big embarrassment. So I told her I'll be out here in 36 hours. And 36 hours I was out of there. I wasn't in great shape, and I had to go back in the hospital for another surgery about a month later. And it was an easy year, but I didn't die. Now the real question is, when I was on the hospital operating table, with the heart not beating and the lungs not taking any oxygen, was I in some kind of near-death experience state? How did I go from laying on a hospital operating room table to walking up a hill in India? And it really felt I was in India. Now I tell this story and I realize that I was drugged up, and I realize there's a lot of emotional stuff involved and everything else. But I truly, honestly believe that I left that hospital bed and the hospital operating table, and I was actually making these visits back to India, to southern India, over and over and over again. And there was this fight going on for my very existence. This wonderful, blissful angel of death was giving me permission to go. Yet my guru told me he wanted me to stay and do more suffering so I could help others. But it was seeing the faces of these other people and my guru telling me not to give up heart that gave me the energy, the healing energy, to stay on and do what I needed to do. And to this day, as I travel around the world and I give talks like down in Los Angeles or Seattle or various places, and I meet people, I recognize faces. Like in Florida, there was a lot of people I met when I was giving talks there last year. I recognized their faces. Same thing in Wales. And there was people there that they were waiting for me. It was obvious. Who am I? I'm nobody. But I believe that my job in life is to inspire, to get others to believe. I'm not a teacher. I'm not a guru. I'm not a saint. I'm not a sage. I am a composite you. I believe that all these things that happened to me were for me to share for others. So they'd realize there truly are miracles, there's love, there's experiences and things happening there in the real world every day. So that is my message. Whether I'm a crazy man, I don't know. But I truly believe what happened happened. And so here I am today. And hopefully those are watching this message, because as I'm recording this, I'm actually sensing and feeling that there's somebody watching this message right now as I'm recording this. When they see this, they are one of the faces unknown to me at this moment. But I know they're one of those. That's my story. Whether it was a near-death experience or a delusional rant on the part of a dying man, I don't know. But I believe what happened for a reason and a purpose. And I'm here to spread the story and share it, and hopefully it inspires others. God bless.